Hello everybody, welcome back. So I have had some requests from you guys to talk about arpeggiated picking patterns for the octave mandolin. So that is what we are going to be talking about in today's video. I am going to be showing you one specific arpeggiated pattern that you can do for worship songs. We're gonna look at the worship song Gratitude in today's video. It's a very popular worship song, and because this video is mainly talking about the right hand and how to arpeggiate chords in a worship setting, I'm not gonna be talking too much about the left hand and about the chords. I will have a link below where you can download a chord chart so that you can follow along with me as we learn this song. We're just gonna be talking about the chorus of this song today. So before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Okay, so as I said before, we are going to be looking at the song Gratitude today. This is a very popular worship song right now, but it's one is just beautiful, and two, really lends itself to a softer approach, not a song where we're just gonna be going all out strumming. It's really great if you want to do finger picking or arpeggiated picking, like what I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to walk you through in this video. This is the pattern that we're going to be learning. This pattern can be used for many different worship songs that are similar to Gratitude. So Gratitude is actually in the time signature of 6/8. Whenever we're thinking about playing a song, it is super important to know what time signature the song is in, because the time signature tells us, one, how many beats are in a measure and how we're going to count out the song. In 6/8, we have 6 beats in every measure. So the way that we're gonna count this song out is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you haven't already, you can go ahead and grab your octave mandolins, grab the chord chart below so that you can follow along with me. I'm just gonna play this song simply in the key of D. D is a great key for the octave mandolin, a key that I gravitate towards a lot because we can utilize our open strings, and all of the chords that I'm using in today's video are very simple chords. I think the hardest chord that I'm using in today's video is a 3-finger chord. All the others are only 2 fingers, so not too difficult. I'm going to play the arpeggiated picking pattern one more time while counting out loud so that you can hear where the beat falls. And we're doing the same exact pattern every single measure. So even though I'm changing chords with my left hand, my right hand is doing the exact same thing every measure. So if we start from the beginning, and this is the chorus of the song Gratitude. So if we start from the chorus, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Gotta breathe. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you kind of get the feel for how that works. So the beat goes by pretty fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason why it goes by fast is not because the tempo of this song is fast, but because we're actually counting by eighth notes, not quarter notes. Typically in a 4/4 time signature, where we have 4 beats in every measure, we are counting by quarter notes. But in a 6/8 time signature, where we have 6 beats per measure, we're actually counting 6/8 notes per measure. I like to start learning picking patterns just on the open strings, so not worrying about the left hand, because that just takes another complicated element out of it, so we can just focus on what the right hand is doing. So first, what we need to do So we know that we have 6 beats in this measure, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are going to divide each of those beats into 2 separate parts. And the way that we're gonna count this out is by saying 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and, okay? So now we've divided every beat into 2 parts, and this is super important. This is what I like to call subdividing. Subdividing is super duper important, and I have a couple other videos on subdividing that I can link below. I think one of them is my strumming patterns video, which would be super helpful for you to go watch if you have not already seen that. But moving on. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to play on the 1 and 2 and, okay? And we're going to start with our bass note, which is gonna be our G string. Pretty much in any strumming pattern, in any arpeggiated picking pattern, I'm always going to start with the lowest note first. And the lowest note of every chord, most of the time, is on our lowest string, which is our G string. So I'm gonna start there and I'm gonna do a down stroke. So down, okay? Then we're gonna go up on the next string. Then we're gonna go down on the next string, then up on the highest string. So we're just going through all of our strings one at a time. Now it's super important here that you make sure that your wrist is going down, up, down, up. So we're doing back and forth pick motions. We're not doing down, 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 or down, up, down, down. We're doing down, up, and make sure that you are doing down, up, because sometimes people will end up doing double downs and not even realizing it. So just pay attention to that those pick directions. Okay, so that's the beginning of our picking pattern. So down, up. Super simple. Okay, and these are on the beats 1 and 2 and, okay? We're not gonna hit any strings on beat 3, but we're gonna hit a string on the and of beat 3. So it's gonna be 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? So on the and of 3, we're gonna hit our A string. And because it is the and of 3, we're actually gonna do an upstroke on that one. So typically, as you'll see, we're gonna do downstrokes on the actual beat, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our upstrokes are gonna be on the ands of the beats. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? It might be a little bit confusing. I'll do it again so you can see 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? So we're not hitting anything on 3, and then we're hitting an upstroke on our A string on the and of 3. And if it is possible, it would be, I think, really beneficial for you to actually count out loud as you're doing this, just like I'm doing. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so that is already half of the measure. That is already half of the whole strumming pattern. You're doing good so far. Let's keep moving. So the second half of this strumming pattern, we're gonna hit our bass note on beat 4. And because that is on the actual beat, it's gonna be a downstroke. So we're gonna hit our bass note on 4, 4, okay? We're not gonna hit anything on the and of 4. Then we're gonna hit 5 and 6 and. Starting on beat 4, we're gonna have the bass note, downstroke, and then since we're moving right on to beat 5 is also gonna be a downstroke, and then we're gonna do, so down on 5, and then up on the and of 5 on the A string, down on E on beat 6, and then up on the A string on the and of beat 6. Okay, sounds confusing? It's really not. So I'm just gonna play the last half of the measure, so beats 4, 5, and 6. And those are 4 and 5 and 6 and. I'll do that one more time. So 4, 5, and 6 and. 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, so we have G string on 4, and then we're just going down our strings. So D string, A string, E string, back to the A string. Okay, and that is pretty much the whole strumming pattern. So I'm going to put both of those halves of the measure together slowly so that you can hear it all together. So here we go. I'll count us off. So 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, I'm gonna do that a little bit slower. So 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, so it might take some practice. If this is confusing to you, that is okay. It might just take practice and time for you to get it, but just go slowly. Don't feel like you have to rush through this. Don't feel like you have to play it super fast, because you don't. And it just start slowly. Make sure that your pick is going the right direction, because that is going to be super important, because our down strokes are typically, they tend to be a little bit heavier than our upstrokes, and so we want those down strokes to land on the heavier beats, on the beats where the song naturally lands a little bit louder. So that's why that is super important, and it's super important to be able to be doing the right pick direction, so that when we get this faster, you're able to continue to do it faster and you're not getting tripped up by having so many downs in a row or so many ups in a row. So now that we have that, let's try to go a little bit faster. And this is one of those things, when it's slow, it's really difficult. You're really trying to count it out, but the faster you get, the more you begin to feel it, and hopefully the more you begin to hear it, the more it begins to make sense. So also, just for our ears' sake, I'm gonna go ahead and play a D chord, which is just my first and second finger on the 7th fret on the G and D strings. That's it, that gives us our D chord. So here we go. 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Okay, so the faster we get, you can see that we're landing on beat 1 and beat 4. Our bass note is being hit on beat 1 and beat 4, and we want to make sure that we hit that very strongly, because that is going to give our arpeggiated picking pattern the grounding that it needs. It's going to help it feel like it lands in the right place. So let's speed that up even more. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is the whole entire strumming pattern. That is literally it. You can do this strumming pattern throughout this whole song. Now, I think one of the important things is that as we're practicing this, we want to try to keep all of those eighth notes, or all of the rhythms that we're playing, we want to try to keep those steady. We want to try to keep those equal. So it'd be a really great idea to practice this with a metronome. You can set the metronome counting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and on all of those beats. Or once you get it up to speed a little bit more, you can set your metronome just to counting on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for instance, I'll do it with the metronome so that you can hear what that would sound like. This is with my metronome at 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and. Practicing with the metronome is super beneficial. I know it's not the most fun thing, but it's going to guarantee that your picking is steady and that your notes are equal and that they're landing where you want them to land. So up to tempo, this strumming pattern gets to be pretty fast, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a pretty fast speed. So if we're playing this at that speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what it sounds like. Again, we want to try to keep the pick as relaxed as possible, the right hand as relaxed as possible. So if you are ready, if you can do that much, then now we can try to put it with the chords and play it in context with the song. So the whole thing sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the whole entire chorus of Gratitude. You can also sing along with this once you get it up to speed. And as you heard, I did not play that perfectly. There were a couple times where I might have accidentally hit another open string, accidentally hit another note, and that is okay. It doesn't have to be picture perfect. It doesn't have to be the notes, the strings don't have to be exactly perfect. If you accidentally hit another open string, it's okay. It's totally okay. And since we are playing chords, there's not gonna be a string that's just gonna sound terrible because we still are playing chords. We're just playing one note at a time, and we want this to have the kind of lilt of a 6/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want it to feel laid back. You want it to feel relaxed. You don't want it to feel like you're struggling to keep up and that you're so tight and so focused on making every note perfect, because that's not relaxing to listen to. And so just practice relaxing, just practice landing on that 1 and that 4 and subdividing in your mind. So keeping that 8th note, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and keeping that in the back of your mind as you're playing this. I love this strumming pattern, or this picking pattern, because it has this sensation of rolling forward, of the forward momentum carrying you. And so I hope you guys found this helpful. Hopefully you were able to follow along with me. And with some time, with some practice, you will be able to play this strumming pattern as well. So thank you guys so much. Feel free to comment any questions that you might have. And don't forget to hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this every single week. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video.